What's going on, Ball and Glove loving Brewer fans? I'm Tyler. I am the host of the Brewers Trilogy podcast. I am a contributor for Reviewing the Brew, and I am joined with good buddy Trevor over here today. And we are on the YouTube to talk about the NL reliever of the year, Devin Williams. So the Brewers have now had a pitcher win this not one, not two, but three times in a row. This time, Devin Williams wins it, and he doesn't record a single save all year. So, guys, absolutely incredible. Historic season. So, let's dive into just what exactly he did this year.
Yeah, I mean, as we're watching this for Devin Williams, this stuff is just absolutely incredible. His changeup is wild. You know, the pitching ninja, I think, coined the phrase of air bending, and that's exactly what he does. I mean, you just look at some of the stats that he generates from this pitch. He, on average, throws it about 84 miles an hour, and he's actually topped it out about 86.9, according to Baseball Savant. His spin rate is 2,852 on a changeup that is completely unheard of, just absolutely bonkers. That is how high of a spin rate he has on that. And then you look at where he throws the pitch and how he does throwing that specific pitch. He only throws it in the strike zone 37% of the time. So that means it's that good that hitters are swinging and missing on it that often. I think, him getting ahead in counts is a part of that as well, because it is incredible the amount of times he gets hitters to swing and miss on that. And then because of that movement and the fact that you're ahead in the count and the pitcher's got to kind of keep up with that is a big, big issue. You look at a few other stats. This is from Fangraphs now. Average exit velocity in the MLB is 88.3. Devin Williams this year was 83.7. So that's almost 5 miles an hour difference. And then you look at hard hit percentage. MLB average is typically around 35.3. Devin Williams this year, 27%. So insane numbers from Devin Williams on that changeup, and just his numbers in general are absolutely incredible. And I get giddy anytime I watch him throw that changeup.
Yeah, I love seeing the air bending. I mean, the air bending really comes in the point that he not only possesses like incredible vertical drop in his changeup, but horizontal movement. On average, it goes 18 inches, and that's compared to other pitchers at the same velocity, 35% more break horizontally going across.
Yeah. So, and that's that wild release that he has on that. It's like, seriously, I saw someone on Twitter say it's a screwball, not a changeup, and that's how it acts. Though it acts like a screwball, it doesn't do what a changeup typically does. But that wonky release that he has gets that crazy amount of spin rate that gets that insane horizontal movement, but he still does have pretty damn good vertical movement as well. Just that pitch is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it's crazy for how much it moves. He's able to command it for strikes, like what you're saying. And in the video, I mean, didn't matter. He's striking guys out swinging, striking guys out looking. And he gave up 2 hits on it all year, and they were both singles, which goes towards that low exit velocity that you were talking about. And even his fastball is great when you combine this mid-80s changeup with that high 90s fastball, and he can locate it as well. I mean, he moves that fastball around the zone. It's not just like high fastballs, and then my changeups are going to be low. He'll throw the fastball low in the zone. It's not like Josh Hader. He can get away with that. I mean, he gave up 5 hits on his fastball all year, and 2 of them went for extra bases. And one of them was a home run that he gave up in the first week of the season, which was also his only earned run all year. So, Jesus. Wild stuff.
Wow. All right, Tyler, let's see that fastball of his. I wanna watch that fastball because his changeup is amazing. But part of his changeup is so amazing is that fastball, and he's able to keep hitters honest with that heat he's got coming at him as well.
So I only got a couple examples of the fastball here, and one's going to be a high pitch and one's going to be a low pitch. So take a look here.
97 miles an hour. Just that's why it's so unfair when you think about that changeup on average, 97, 96 there. And that is part of the reason why that changeup is so elite. Not only the movement, not only the change of pace, but the fact that you have to respect 97 is insane. And it makes it extremely hard as a hitter to be able to just bet changeup and, adjust from there. You can't do that with Devin Williams because his fastball is so fast. And if you go the other way and say, oh, he's going to throw a fastball, well, he doesn't throw them all that often, first. Second, that changeup is so nasty that it's going to be hard to actually make contact if you're guessing fastball and adjusting to that changeup. And you mentioned, Tyler, winning the NL Reliever of the Year without a save. If you go back to 2014 was when the NL AL Reliever of the Year kind of changed, and now it's the Trevor Hoffman NL Reliever of the Year and the Mariano Rivera AL Reliever of the Year. He is the only one that has 0 saves to win it. And you look, the next closest is Josh Hader in 2018 with 12. After that, the next closest is 14. That was the AL Reliever of the Year this year in the extremely short season. Liam Hendriks won it for the A's. But then you look at some of his other stats. His whip, .63, that's the lowest of anyone on this list. The next closest is tied between Kenley Jansen in 2016 and Liam Hendriks of 2020. That might play into effect, short season, those types of things. And even with a short season, it is nuts that he had a .33 earned run average. You mentioned, early on in the year, that was his only earned run. The next closest was Zach Britton back in 2016 for the Orioles. Just incredible company that he is in. And I can't wait for the Milwaukee Brewers to have the first 4-time back-to-back for their club. And it's going to be Josh Hader, Devin Williams. I'm calling it right now.
Would not be opposed. I mean, Devin Williams could probably do it with a couple saves given a full season next year. I think he'll actually get some chances. It just didn't make sense in a shortened season this year. Just let Hader do his thing. But, man, it'll be interesting to see what he does next year. I don't know if he can keep up 53% strikeout rate. I mean, that was an MLB record this year, topping Aroldis Chapman's record of 52.5.
Wow.
And then, of course, the ERA was just nuts as well. But I do think we have a reliever who's going to be very good for many years to come here in Milwaukee.
Yeah. And you mentioned, the ERA was crazy at .33, and that's crazy. And throughout 162 games, probably not going to be able to keep that up. Even with how dominant he was, I bet you, if it's a full season, I bet you he's not at .33. But then you look at his FIP, and his FIP, according to Baseball Reference, is .86. So it's not like he was getting that lucky, 0.5 difference in FIP, year to year, that's probably the difference. 1 year you're half a point underneath it, the next year you're half a point over it. But even half a point over that at 1.3, you'll take it. That is reliever of the year caliber stuff there. So it wasn't just that it was a short season and he kind of got a little lucky to get that .33. Yeah, maybe a little bit lucky, but that's just how that kind of works in the MLB and baseball and sports in general. There's times where you get a little bit lucky, you win games you maybe weren't supposed to, or, you get out of an inning that maybe you probably should have allowed a run in. That happens. And the fact that Devin Williams' FIP was under that .8 or is at .86, it was under 1, is just absolutely incredible. And that's what makes me really think that he can keep this going. I think he's got to continually kind of look at himself and figure out what he needs to do to continue to keep hitters off balance, because eventually major league hitters are too good to just, if he only throws these 2 pitches and keeps them relatively the same, hitters are going to figure it out eventually. They're too good at this level. So I feel like he's got to have constant improvement to keep it at this level, but the stuff he has, he definitely can do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's under club control for what, like 6 years now. So it, he's hopefully this is not his ceiling. I don't think it is. I mean, he was average in 2019. He actually threw a sinker in 2019 quite a bit that he just went away from this year, which I thought was really interesting. Not quite as interesting as you telling me scouts graded his changeup a 30. I found
40.
Absolutely
40.
weird.
They graded it a 40. That's wild. So obviously he can improve his pitches because he did that with his changeup extremely well. Last thing I want to mention, you mentioned club control. He's arbitration eligible in 2023, and he'll become a free agent in 2026. Well, you definitely got some control on this guy, and that's exciting. You know, knowing that Brandon Woodruff's going into arbitration this year. You know, you have a few years left on Corbin Burns for club control. You know, you have a lot of these guys under club control that's going to be the core of your team. Keston, Christian Yelich, and that more than anything is exciting because all of these players have shown they can play at some of the highest levels in baseball, which is extremely awesome, and I cannot wait to see what they can do in the future.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned club control because I think he had 13 innings last year. So we shouldn't run into an instance where he's going to be a Super 2 player. I think that should be pretty much well avoided at this point. So another year of pre-arbitration salary is going to be great, especially for this Milwaukee Brewers team. But yeah, that's it. That's all we got on Devin Williams today. Obviously, we could probably talk for hours, but YouTube probably won't upload that long a video. So we're going to sign.
We could upload it. It would just be uploaded in 4 days, probably.
Right. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us today. See you later, Brewer fans.
Tristan Stearns.